Climate change and changes are coming. Whether it be from the climate or peak oil, our lives aren't going to continue like they have been. There isn't, that future isn't there. So we need to make the changes we want and make those positive changes that we've made ourselves to our lives and our planet, and not things that have been forced on us by circumstance. And we can help lead that change. We're from some of the most privileged nations on the planet where we can do these things without fear of as harsh reprisals as in other countries where they're also trying to fight this, where standing up to oil companies can immediately be shot and other things. So, and within the privileged countries and stuff, a lot of people have been talking about maybe like a two-prong approach where we can resist the fossil fuel industry and resist the destruction of our planet, whether it be the forests and the peat bogs and all our carbon sinks, but also look into our communities and seeing how we can create autonomous, sustainable communities, which is more people have community gardens to grow our own food, and also other ways to look after ourselves, like schools and mental health groups to deal with things that are coming. And groups are also taking on that things are going to change and we are having increasing disasters and we need to be able to sort ourselves out for that. And people are starting community disaster relief groups to go and help people, like they did down in New Orleans. People got together and went to help there and all over. And maybe, next time we have huge disasters like up in Hull, we can all go up and see how we can help the people up there when their homes are flooded and destroyed. So, climate camp, where does this fit in? It's got quite a meandering history which goes through environmental and social movements, and it was very much an evolution of an idea. It wasn't like one group of, small group of people that led it through. It involved hundreds of people organising and sparking ideas off each other and doing different things. And the camp itself, so far for the last 2 years, has been a week-long camp with workshops around all the issues involved, whether it's on highlighting campaigns against fossil fuels or sustainable living. And these camps also involve action, and people are going from the camps to take direct action against the fossil fuel industry. The camps are open to everybody and they're horizontally organised. There are no leaders, and we all make decisions together on the camp. Last year, the camp was at Drax, which is a coal power station, and it's the largest point emitter in the UK of carbon. So 600 people got together to take a week of action. This year, the target was far more audacious. I was still working in America when I heard that it had been decided that the camp was going to be at Heathrow, and I was pretty. I was very shocked. I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen? I really didn't think we could do it, and the camp was amazing, and like about 1,500 people came and camped from all over the country. There'd been meetings in the run-up with like 50 to 100 people, and all the way up to organise the camp. And so we had hundreds of workshops, and there were way too many actions. I made a list thinking I'd read out a list of the actions, and there were far too many to do in a small amount of time. But they include taking the camp, people locking down to, people set up a climate camp on the wing of an Airbus. The next day, Farnborough and Biggin Hill airports were blockaded. Then the next day, 6 London travel agencies were chained shut with signs saying, "Gone, it's closed, we've gone to climate camp." A private charter company, Excel, that deports rejected asylum seekers was blockaded to make that connection between climate change and forced migrations. Activists superglued themselves to the Department of Transport. Children and parents blockaded the World Freight Centre, and 60 people occupied the warehouses of air freight people. And this was all before the publicised 2 days of action. So when they came, like within 24 hours, like we had carbon offset companies blockaded, Sidewell A and Sidewell B were blockaded, 12 protesters superglued themselves to BP headquarters, people occupy the offices of Leeds Bradford Airport. The reports came in of a gas pipeline sabotaged in the Brecon Beacons. 10 clowns marked out the site of a fourth runway in the Chairman of Heathrow Forward campaign. And the BP World Cargo depot was blockaded again. And then there was the big BAA blockade, where people took the campaign to BAA's headquarters, and we camped over there overnight and had a climate camp there. So that was a pretty busy week of actions that you probably all saw hitting the headlines. Since the camp, there's been actions have been continuing, like Terminal 3 of Manchester Airport was blockaded. There's been biofuels actions, carbon trading actions, and Rising Tide held a day of action against the Royal Bank of Scotland, who finance a lot of the fossil fuel industry. And on that day, there were 32 actions all over the UK. So keep a check out on Indomedia. Has lots of the actions end up on there, so check that out. So where next is kind of the big question for us now. And something that's really great is this has actually sparked climate camps internationally. There were 2 climate camps in the US at the same time as the UK one last year, and next year there's now going to be 4 climate camps spread all over the North American continent. Australia are having a climate camp next summer at the same time as ours, and this is to blockade the largest coal port in the world, and they're currently planning to expand it by 60%. It's near Sydney. And in Australia, they're actually last weekend, a load of people went out for the 3rd time this year. I think it was about 400 people went out to blockade that coal port, and about 250 of them went out in the water in canoes and makeshift rafts and surfboards, and families went out there on the water and blockaded coal ships bringing coal out of Newcastle Harbour. So these things are happening. Germany wants to have a camp at the same time as we organise something. And there's also Sweden, New Zealand, Chile and Holland. We've heard messages in the last few weeks looking to do camps or actions at the same time. We had our big Where Next meeting a couple of weekends ago, and we had 150 people there, and many of these were representatives from other places. And there are lots of ideas that are coming up, whether we have a camp or an urban thing, or just concentrate on actions for a week. So the ideas are still milling around, and we probably end up with many of these things. But one of my best moments that weekend was near the beginning, and somebody said, "My question is are we up for it? All these people have put so much time and drained themselves during the camp, and are we, whatever it is this year, are we up for it?" And it's probably the quickest consensus I've seen in a meeting, because everybody was like, "Yeah, we're up for it." And it's moments like that that when we hear all these horrible statistics and new reports from the IPCC saying how bad things are, it's that keeps me going, seeing that we're part of an exciting growing movement. And so there are lots of things coming up, and there's going to be lots of actions going off all the way through to the summer. And a big date that's come out is April the 1st. It's no longer April Fool's Day, it's Fossil Fool's Day. So, everyone, get out there and do your April Fool prank or Fossil Fool's prank. So there's a website for that, which is fossilfoolsday.org, and there's already American and Australian groups organising around that, so that's going to be a global day of action. And also check out climatecamp.org.uk and come and get involved. It's an open process, and we all need to be getting out there. So yeah, thank you.